I am here with Peter Laboy.
I got some Oxy after I hurt my neck. First, I took them to feel better. Then, I just kept taking them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive.
Six, got it. First slots in 2 minutes. Does everyone have their music with them?
First up is Kaya Stevenson.
Stevenson. Got it, thank you.
You guys may recognize him from Dhar Studios. And we were just in a video together recently, and you were all tatted up.
Yes.
Pirate ship, and then like got the lion. It's mine.
Yeah, I know who chose that one from.
Oh, you see the
Timmy?
lighthouse then?
Timmy, come over here. What did I tell you about talking to strangers?
He's not a stranger. His name is Sam, and he's really cool.
Look, ma'am, I can find another place to stay if it's a hassle.
No, don't be silly. Sam, Amber has been nice enough to let you stay for a week, max.
That'll be more than enough, Miss Amber. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Hey, what are you still doing here?
I know, I'm leaving. I'm leaving right now, I swear. Are you looking for work?
Yes, I'm just trying to find a job so I can get something to eat, but it's hard getting employed looking like this.
No more, no more owl.
You added some extra ones there for that video.
Mhm.
How long have you been working there?
With Darman since February 20th, two years ago. So about 2 years and some change now. Yeah, I started on Richie's birthday. That's how I remember.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you've been working at Darman a couple years now. What has your experience been like working there?
Well, I mean, for me, and again, I can only say my experience and my truth. Every time that I've ever actually been on a set or on a production, and everyone that I've met face to face, it has been a positive experience. It's always been a really great and fun atmosphere. Honestly, I've always just been grateful that I'm getting paid to go act, period. And like, that's pretty much what it's been. I've been fed, I've been paid every single time within 1 to 2 days after wrapping. And like, yeah, I honestly myself have no complaints or bad moments. There's little things here and there, but as far as my on-set face-to-face experience has been great. And the people that I've met have been really awesome. I've got some great connects, some great friends from Dhar Studios. So my experiences overall, yes, on set have been great. I don't have any complaints there, and I'm grateful for the time that I have been there.
Yeah, and I think, you brought up a good point. This is just your experience. This has nothing to do with what anybody else is going through. And, when I first put out my video talking about my experiences, there was quite a few people that said, you're just downgrading or downplaying what someone else went through. And I thought, no, whatever they went through is whatever they went through. But I want to share the other side of the coin. I want to share what I went through, because it's vastly different. And my soul was so grieved to see what was going on.
To me, it's just like any other studio. Like, you're not really guaranteed to ever be called back once or twice for anything. Mm-hmm. And like, my thing was, I did a little bit of background with Dhar Studios, and I don't even really do background, but I thought, this Rushi guy is really cool. This crew is cool enough. I'll do background, and they pay me the next day. So if I'm just being honest, that's cool. Dhar has just always been that cool little opportunity that if you want me in between all of this, then sure. But if I have something else going on, I'm going to deny a Dhar project, just to be honest. So I never really took it like wrong, I guess, or they're doing me any way wrong by not contacting me anymore. Mm-hmm. And I just decided to self-tape myself through Actors Access to get one of the lead roles. And that's what I did. I went through Actors Access like any other project that you would submit for. Yeah. I was lucky enough to get it. And then after that, they did kind of start giving me a couple more opportunities. And after we filmed with you, I remember I made a joke. I said, after this one, watch, like, I probably won't work with them for like who knows how long. And you and Giovanna were like, no, you did great on this one, and they'll bring you back more. And it's just like, whether they do or not, like, I feel like I've made peace with whatever their process is.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I've been able to earn the leads that I've had gotten, and everything else in between that they just offered me is honestly just a great opportunity to go just step in and act and get paid without self-taping or, you know, whatever it may be. I've never felt, I guess, entitled to anything from them, and I definitely don't expect anything from them. So it just kind of makes me feel a little more at peace with everything that's happened, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you've made a lot of good points. A lot of the stuff you've talked about, there is an opportunity, and actors, as a general rule, I don't want to say we're needy, but we want that feedback. We want to be loved. We want to be considered. We want to be thought of. We want to, you know.
For sure, absolutely.
And sometimes when you do see somebody get a role that you felt like I could have done that, you know. Sometimes there is that, like, did you forget about me? What happened? But what I loved about what you said is you don't take it personally, because you can't in this business. And like you said, nobody owes you anything. It's great, the opportunities you've got, but in some of it sometimes the pace that they're moving, the number of videos they're putting out each week, we might not always be top of mind, right? They maybe just going through the pace, and they're just going through, these are the people that submitted this week. But when you saw the breakdown on Actors Access and you said, hey, this role is perfect for me, I'm going to submit, I'm going to audition for it, and that's what you did. Because sometimes it just takes people being reminded. Like, as an actress in Hollywood, I've done shoots for different casting directors, and they've hired me for certain things, but they see so many thousands of actors every year, and I can only imagine the thousands of submissions that come in every week to Dhar Mann, that sometimes they need a reminder, like, hey, I'm still here.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like, I could still do this for you. And to be honest, what helped me with that feeling of like, man, like, why are they forgetting about me, is that like every actor I've worked with on other projects, and we look at each other's IMDb, almost every single one in like a span of 2 years, I've noticed has a Dhar Mann project on their IMDb, whether it's 1 or 2. So I kind of started thinking, maybe that's kind of cool when I do say I'm not available. Maybe there's 100 other actors in line that are going to get that one opportunity to have a one-liner or even be background, but just to know what it feels like to be on a set and work and everything. And then, you know, they'll come back around to me when the time is right. But it is kind of cool how they do kind of give out these many opportunities. It's hard to find an actor nowadays that doesn't have a Dhar Mann credit on IMDb.
Wow. So, and that's kind of neat too, because they're giving a lot of new people opportunities that they've never had before. Another thing I liked about what you said is that there's room for advancement there. Like you said, you started out doing background. It was about a year of doing background, and then you were finally upgraded to a speaking role. And then when you didn't hear anything for a while, you were like, I'm gonna make myself known. I'm gonna submit to this. And there's several people that I've worked with that they said, even though I've worked here, even though I've had speaking gigs, when I see something come up for them, I will submit, I will self-tape. And what it does is, oh yeah, her. We forgot about her. Let's, you know, because there's so many hundreds of people and so many hundreds of actors they've worked with, maybe thousands, I don't know, that sometimes people need a reminder, and I'm glad you're not taking it personally, because that's what it is. Like I've said, in Hollywood, I've worked with casting directors, and I've had to, every few months sometimes, send them a postcard. Like
to just give them a reminder.
So yeah, it's really about just not taking it personally and finding the opportunities, grabbing them, and moving on. Like, hey, I'm still here. And I mean, me personally, I don't necessarily remember everybody I've worked with. So sometimes we can get our feelings hurt a little, and we're thinking, like, did they forget about me? Did they not remember me? I remember when they got the new studio going and they built the classroom set, and then were building other sets. I didn't know. I didn't hear from them for 2 months, and I was like thinking to myself, did I do something wrong? Did I, you know what I mean? It's like, it was like, did I, you're thinking, and I do think that sometimes that is something we think about as actors, but it is like gig based. It is project based. So if they don't see you as a certain character in a certain project, then you may not hear for a while. And then when I came back after a couple of months, when I got called again, I said, Ruben, you guys know you haven't called me in 2 months? And I know I've talked to Aiden about this before. He had like a similar thing. And he goes, oh, really? Well, you know what happened is we were waiting for this this classroom set to be built, and we had all these scripts stacked up that were all like kids in the classroom. And so, I think at the time they only saw me like as the mom roles. So sometimes it doesn't occur to people that you can play necessarily this wide range of characters, because then maybe a few months later, then they called me to be a teacher, but they didn't automatically think of me in that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there may be things, as for us as an actor, for you at Dhar Mann or anywhere, that you kind of have to show people different sides of you, because it may not be what they think of you as. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm curious, what was it that made you like reach out to me and say, hey, Kat, do you want to like?
Oh, that's to be honest, and that's a good question. I think a lot of other actors have felt this too. Is just like seeing all this happen and like just kind of feeling like, do I want to say something? Do I not? Because where I stand, like I said, I'm at peace with Dhar Mann how it is. But it got to the point where I was thinking about this much more than I should be. I was doing other self-tapes, but had like my Dhar Mann thoughts in the back of my head. And a part of me, just because I was kind of sad, like seeing the protests, seeing some of these actors who I think are great people and just great co-workers. And from what I've seen to it becoming that, I just like this was probably the easiest way to maybe just do it as a discussion and not just get my story completely straight out. But I did feel like it just came to the point where I did just have to do it in any kind of respect so that I can just fully not have it in my conscience, I guess, because it's been just kind of bothering me in a way and making me a little bit sad, or I'm almost thinking about it when I should be focused on my self-tapes and my other stuff. So
100% agree. It was like consuming all my thoughts. I wasn't sleeping. I was, like you said, really sad about it, really upset about everything that was happening. So, a lot of people probably have been contacting you like, hey, where do you stand? Like, how do you feel? Like sometimes things like, what side are you on? Which is
funny enough, I mean, I get these random messages from Dhar Mann fans sometimes who I've never met, but it was funny because in the span of the same day, I got one that was like, I can't believe you've had to work and not get paid. Like, I feel for you. And I'm like, that's never happened to me. But then within like an hour was another fan like, I can't believe you haven't said anything. Like, do you not stand with the actors? And I'm like, this is crazy. And like the fan perspective on it can just go any way, or what they think, what they read from one post can automatically. So I just felt like also because I have been there long enough that I just wanted to say my truth, not really try to play any side or both sides, but just give my truth, my experience. And overall, I do owe a little gratitude to a company that has hired me to act. Like, that's all I want to do, period. And if you've given me one chance to do that, like, you're good in my eyes, I guess. And they've given me 2 years. I do just want to say my truth. I want the best for everybody involved, the studio and the actors. But this is, my story. And I've never met Dhar Mann himself.
You've never met him in 2 years?
No, I've never met him. I don't even know if he knows who I am, to be honest with you. But I have met Ruben. A couple times. And, he's one of the heads. And he's always been respectful to me. He's given me opportunities. He even helped me train some of the directors that came in. I did a bunch of mock shoots with Dhar Mann too to help bring in new actors and new directors.
Thank you so much for your time, Peter. I really appreciate you taking time to speak with me today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.